Hello, everyone. We are live. My name is Kellyanne. I'm a bookseller of Mysterious Galaxy. I am here to introduce our lovely author who we have hosted before. Welcome back to Tracy Wolff. I'm sure she doesn't need much of an introduction with all of you, but she is the best-selling author of the Court series, or the Crave series, and we are here to celebrate her latest book in that series, Court. We also have a very, very special conversation partner and moderator this evening. We have Mysterious Galaxy's own bookseller and social media assistant, Kai. Hi. So we're really excited for this event tonight. I know you guys are not here to listen to me, so I'm going to do the quick house rules as fast as I can. As you guys have seen and already found, just lovely, is the chat section on the right-hand side. Below our video, you'll see a green button that says buy books with signed book plates. Tracy will be sending us signed book plates very soon. So put in your orders if you haven't already, and you'll get a signed book plate from Tracy. And last but not least, below that, you'll see a button that says ask a question. If you click that, you can type in whatever questions you have for Tracy, and she'll answer them in the second half of the event. So with that, I'm going to turn off my camera and have a great event, you guys.
Thanks. Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you today. And hi to everybody in the chat. Thanks so much for coming. You guys are the best, as always. I'm so lucky.
Yes, everybody is just going off saying hi to each other. This is great. I love our community here.
That's awesome. You guys are the best.
Yeah. So Tracy, congratulations for being #1 on the New York Best Time Sellers list.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. It's my first #1. And so yeah, it was super special yesterday. So
what was your reaction when you saw it?
It was actually really hard. Yeah, my editor called me with it, and and my editor's usually pretty calm. She's usually like, "Yay, this is cool!" And she called me and she's like, "Tracy!" And she yelled at pretty much the top of her lungs, and I was like, "What? What do we? Like, I mean, if you're an author and you're thinking you might hit one of the lists, you know exactly what time they come out. Like, we'd already like 3 o'clock had hit, and we'd already checked USA Today, and so like, I mean, you were on it. So I'm like 4 o'clock, my phone rings. I'm like, what is it? What number? What number? And she's like, one. And she was so excited, just screaming. And I was like, I might have screamed a little bit myself. So,
oh my gosh, I definitely screamed, and I'm sure everybody here has screamed with you. That's such great news.
I'm so blessed. I have the most amazing fans, and they've just taken this series into their hearts, and it means the world to me, just their support and how amazing they've been with it. And I'm so grateful.
And we're grateful
share
for
it with all of you. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Well, speaking of Court, we understand that there was here we go. This is Court, you guys. We understand that there are also 3 before this, Crave and
Crush.
Covet. Oh my gosh, Crush, thank you. And Covet, thank you. And I was wondering, was there anything different about the process of writing Court in comparison to the first 3?
Was there anything different about the process of writing Court? Court was, I mean, it's mammoth to begin with, right? Like, if you open it up, you see how small the printing is and how small the margins are. And yeah, there was just, it was really a lot of debate about like what was going to go in it. And I thought we really had the story nailed down. And then Hudson did a thing and just kind of like blew where I thought he was emotionally out of the water in the book about half, and I was like, oh, I've just totally got this wrong with him. Like, he's actually, a mess right now.
Yes.
And this is why. And of course this is why. And oh my gosh. And so then there was a lot of going back and then relayering what was, and changing a lot of scenes and cutting and rewriting. And so, yeah, it was a little different than the others, which, I mean, Hudson behaved in the other 2. He did what he was supposed to do. So, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but I think it was worth it. I think it was right. I think, how it turned out in Court was the way it needed to be. So I'm pretty happy with it. And I hope you guys are too.
Oh, I'm definitely very happy.
Okay.
Yes. So you said that Hudson's character arc changed a little bit. Is that what you just said?
I said it's well, his actual arc I think didn't change, but like where he was
Okay.
emotionally, I think changed.
Mm.
Some like I always knew where I wanted him to get, and where I wanted him
Yeah.
to be as a person and where I wanted him to be with Grace. But I think the journey that I took him on in court was a little different than we'd originally imagined. So
That's great. And we're all very happy with how that turned out.
good. I'm glad.
I'm
You
Team
know,
Hudson.
sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't get it right the first time. Sometimes you have to dig around a little bit, and sometimes the characters tell you what's right. If you're lucky, the characters tell you what's right.
Yeah. Did that happen with any other characters? Like, were they supposed to go somewhere completely different with any other character?
Yeah. There are a few that just were like different on the page than I thought they were going to be. Like last night, I talked about the fact that Jacan is very different than how I had originally imagined him, but he's not the only one. Liam ended up very different than how I had originally imagined what his role was going to be. I always knew there was going to be somebody who fit that bill, but I wasn't really sure that it was going to be him until we got to that part. And I don't know anybody else really different. There probably was. Oh, Calder. Yeah, of course,
Calder.
I
love Calder.
Everybody teases me about my inner Calder. Like Calder, I just love her. Like she just came out so special. I think, like in my opinion, she's one of my favorite characters I think that I've ever written. And and there's a couple lines of hers that just honestly shocked the hell out of me when I was writing them in Covet.
Yes.
Like, that's not nice. I'm people. I'm like, you so missed the point there, Calder. You just so missed the point. But I'm so self-absorbed, but like also just so like fabulous and how her arc ends and how she grows is she's another one that surprised me a little.
I love her. And I think one of my favorite quotes from Calder is, "It's not all about you, Grace." Like when she just gives it to her. Yes.
You can be here for other reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, I cackled so loud when I read that part. Yeah.
That whole section and that whole like speech that Grace gives before they go into battle. That's like one about like the when she rewrites the Shakespeare speech,
Yes.
I have like so much fun with that. Like, her trying to like do it scary enough or like, inspiring enough for a bunch of paranormal creatures. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
With dinosaurs,
Yeah, I didn't even know until Hudson said it. Yeah, and I was just like, oh. I was like, this is so very Captain America of you, Grace. It was great. Okay. Well, I wanted to touch on something that you do really well, which is foreshadowing. I wanted to know, do you select something? Oh, of course, yeah. Do you like plan these foreshadows, or do you kind of select something that was already in one of the books and go like, oh yes, this would work, I can use this?
Oh no, they're planned. Yeah, in fact, I'm super excited for Charm and for Cherish because there are Easter eggs like all over. Well, there's a couple Easter eggs all the way back in Crave and in Crush, but there's definitely some in Court that will kind of come to fruition there, and I'm very excited to see what you guys think about it.
Oh, I can't wait either. And everybody's excited too. Yes. Okay. Speaking of the next few books, I and many others noticed that you're releasing 2 more from this series. Please touch on this. How was writing all that for you?
I don't sleep a lot.
Okay. Me too.
Right. I mean, there's so many more interesting things to do than sleep. But no, I'm actually really, really excited. Charm is like almost done. I've already like edited a whole bunch of it, and I'm actually really excited about how it's going and what it looks like, and being able to well, here's like something, it's not a secret really, because you know we put it in the blurb, but like I introduced the shadow realm in court, and it's going to play out a lot in the last 2 books. It's just like a new place to explore, and some new mythology and all of that I'm really excited about you guys seeing. And yeah, Charm has just been, it's just been so much fun. It's just been so much fun exploring like Hudson and Grace,
Yes.
but also just so much fun exploring like how much trouble they get into in the Shadow Realm. So
Yeah, that's so exciting, and I'm so glad that that's a thing. And
we'll find out, I guess, soon enough, right? Fingers.
Yes,
fingers crossed.
yes, for sure. I have all of my fingers crossed. Okay, well, I wanted to also know if there was anything in particular that you had to cut out from court that didn't make it to the final cut.
Andra, first of all, I want to say, Andra, thank you so much. That's such a kind comment, and it means honestly the world to me. And I love that that people are making friends through the series. It's one of the coolest things ever in my opinion. And I am humbled and just very, very honored that that's the case. So thank you very much. Is there anything I had to cut out of court? Yeah, like 65,000 words.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah,
are you allowed to?
That's really how Cherish came about, right? Because there were things that I did not have real. Like, I mean, at some point, we're like, it can't be War and Peace, right?
Yeah.
It cannot be that big. Although I think it might be close. But yeah, we had cut. My editor is ruthless. I mean, she's ruthless. I love her very much, but she's just like, nope, out with this, out with that. No, that's stupid. And no, this is really, really good, but we just don't have room for it. And we just, she does what editors do, which is awesome. It's awesome to have a good editor. But yeah, there's some scenes that I don't want to be specific because I think I would get in massive trouble for revealing them because some of them are going to show up in Cherish. It's really one of the reasons Cherish came about is because I couldn't wrap up everything I wanted to wrap up in court. I mean, we really probably cut like 90,000 words out of it, but there's about 60,000 words that, I mean, they probably need to do some reshaping, obviously, to fit in the other book, but like scenes that need to be in Cherish. So yeah, there was a lot that got cut out of court.
Okay, wow. I would love like an entire document of just things that were cut out so I can know.
It's so funny. My editor keeps everything, like every paragraph she cuts, every scene she cuts. And it's like this massive document at this point because it started and she just adds to it from Crave all the way on. And yeah, it exists. It exists. And I'm always like, oh, let me see it. And she's like, no, because you'll kill me. But there's like I always tease her. The one I always bring up is like the Banshee scene that she cut in Crush. We had like knocked down, drag out, like me begging and whining.
Oh,
Played up on my Banshee. I'm like, I love it. She keeps promising me that someday the Banshee scene is going to show up. Or an updated version of it. But yeah, there's a bunch of scenes in there that people haven't seen, and probably for good reason.
Okay.
Not everything for all those writers out there, not everything you write is gold. Sometimes it's just ridiculous. And it is really awesome to have an editor that calls you on that and is like, no, this will not work for so many reasons. Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Why do dragons fly? They have wings.
Oh, we love the dragon.
Don't tell anybody about that. That is one of my more embarrassing mistakes in the series that we got rid of.
Okay. Secret safe with us. Well, you touched on a banshee, and there's actually a question I have here about the mythological creatures. Are there any mythological creatures that you have decided absolutely do not exist in this world or will not exist whatsoever? Like,
I don't think I've decided any that. Well, that's not true. I'm not a big fan of succubi and incubi. Like, they're just not my
understand.
Okay. And so they will, barring something bizarre happening, will not exist in the world. And no, other than that, we're gonna see, especially because the spinoff is not like I haven't fully formed. Like I know the hero and heroine,
Mhm.
and I know like what I want to do. I know the setting. I know all of that. I know the big arc, but I don't know all the little details yet of
Yeah,
where I
makes
want to
sense.
go with that. And so I don't know that I can rule anything out. So
Okay.
yeah, there'll be some new ones though. There'll definitely be some new ones.
Ooh, yes, please. I always love reading it.
Oh, I
So,
love writing it. So yay.
yeah. Speaking of which, how's that world building for you? Like, how do you decide what goes in and what goes out of this world that you've created?
The world building is something I actually do in conjunction with my editor. She
Mhm.
is an incredible world builder, and she calls me on a lot of stuff because I very like I'll write something and she'll be like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, sure, it makes sense. She's like, well, how does it work? And I'm like, magic. And she's like, no, no, no. Magic is not an actual answer. Try
Okay.
again. And I appreciate that because she really pushes me to really think and explore the world building and to really understand. And it's why I think like I work really hard to really ground and keep the world and not break the world, right? These are the rules that the world functions under, and
Mhm.
sometimes like any writer does, you're like, well, that is an inconvenient rule, but like that's life, right? Gravity kind of
Mhm.
sucks if you're able to fly, but
Yes.
not a way that our world functions, so that's what we do.
Mhm.
um so yeah. So there's a lot of that. I keep a very, very detailed Bible that
Good.
has not just all the characters and stuff, but like a lot of the world stuff, so that
Mm.
because they're long books, there's a lot in them, and so that I don't
Yes.
I don't make mistakes. So yeah, that's how the world building goes.
I love that. And I've
Me
heard
me
about
always trying to me
yes.
always trying to sneak one in, and my editor being sorry, no.
Ruthless editors. It's okay.
But
Yes.
again, ruthless for all those writers out there, ruthless editors are worth their weight in gold because they make you better writers. And I am very grateful for mine because she doesn't let me get away with anything.
Yes.
Rules are
Love
no fun, Siri. I agree 100%.
that. Yes. Um, okay, I think we touched on this a little bit with world building, but I wanted to know I'm sorry, let me read this again. Something I found wonderful is the scenery and location for each court, and I was wondering why those places. Like, what is it about those locations that scream gargoyle, vampire, witch, dragon, and wolf?
Oh, yeah, wait till you see the Wolf Court. Speaking of things that
Mhm.
got cut. Um, 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 I don't know. They just feel I play around a lot until I find the place that feels right, like
Mhm.
Alaska felt right because I really wanted it to be like if you are a girl from San Diego, where is the
Mhm.
like place like in North America that I could plunk you down that you would probably feel the most uncomfortable and like not have any idea how things work. And Alaska
Mhm.
is for me like a big answer.
Yes.
And then as for the courts, like the witch court, there's I did a lot of we mentioned we were talking beforehand that I do a ton of research into setting,
Yes, you
location,
do.
and a bunch of other things. My creatures and all of that. And one of the things when I was researching that I came across is the concept of the axis of black magic and the axis of white magic, the different axes and
Uh-huh.
the triangles. And Turin, Italy, is where it has an axis for black and for white magic, according to the ley lines and all of those things.
Oh,
And I was
fascinating.
like, well, then the witch court, of course, has to be there. That just seems like the perfect place to put it. So then I found and again, speaking of things that got cut,
Mhm.
I found a couple piazzas. You got to see one, but I found a couple different
Mhm.
piazzas there that I thought really epitomized what I wanted to do and wanted to show,
Mhm.
and so that's totally why like Turin came for the witch court. I don't know. I just always I figured the dragons, they would just be in this huge metropolitan area. Like they just would be.
Yes.
And New York is I think one of the coolest cities in the world. And I just
Mhm.
had this vision of them like hidden from view, like flying down the Hudson and flying above Times Avenue, Times Square and down Broadway. And I just right away, I just knew that that's where I wanted them. And of course, if you're, 1,000 years old and you've been able to amass all this money and you hoard, through, millennia, like, sure, you would like just be this like super, rich owner of like massive skyscrapers in New York. And so that's where that came about. And London just seems the place for the vampires. It just does.
Yes.
I mean, if I didn't have a British accent, I'd probably be very sad.
I would also be very sad. I live in some
so it just seemed that London was the place for them.
Amazing.
And I mean, there's a lot of lore there, right?
Yes, that is definitely a thing that's happening in London, or happened in London.
There's a lot of paranormal stories set there.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the magic system that you have in place, especially with Jackson and Hudson. Can you talk about the process of coming up with something as complex as that? Not just for vampires, but for every species. Like, why Hudson and why did Hudson have pulverization, or like why did Jackson have telekinesis? Stuff like that. Can you touch on that?
Well, I don't want to do spoilers for Court, right? About like how and why like Hudson has more than one power, and how these powers came about. Because whereas like vampires like Mackay are vampires and they have all the cool vampire stuff, they don't actually have separate powers. These are things that come out in Court. But I just think I thought about like what do I want? Like I would love telekinesis. Like I would just love to be like, laundry done, done, like in the dryer. Maybe I'm not, I don't use it for as cool things as Jackson does. But telekinesis I think would be amazing. And just the ability to like change things on a molecular level is super fascinating. Something that I have 3 sons and they're very big, comic book and superhero nerds and we spend a lot of time talking about really in-depth like physics stuff of paranormal creatures and all of that. And the whole like pulverization thing, it's a big one in my house. So
amazing.
The ability to like alter things on a molecular level. Like, what does that mean? How does that work? What does that, what would that be? How would you be able to touch anything? How would you, how do you use it and not use it? And lots of weird discussions like that around the dinner table. One of my funniest stories is everybody knows my mom had moved in with me several years ago, or a lot of my fans know that, when her health started to fail. And my mom was like the most practical woman in the world. She just was. And we're sitting at the dinner table one time and we're having this big discussion of like zombie apocalypse, as one does at a dinner table. And I'm always like, okay, look, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to die first. So just kill me and don't let me be a zombie. I don't want to be a zombie. Just kill me. And I make my oldest son promise he's just going to take me out early and, just, protect the younger kids and just go on the run and whatever else. And, she just looks around at us like with this just like wondering look on her face. And she says, zombies aren't real, right? Like this isn't going to And we just like, looked at her like, what? Like, what do you mean? Such a real discussion us. And she was just like, I don't understand what's happening here. So it's one of my favorite, like, how do like the discussions that we have around my dinner table about things like, molecularly, how would I dissolve this?
I feel that. Who do you think would be the best at surviving in a zombie apocalypse? Just anybody in Court?
Anybody in Court? Oh, I think Hudson would like, zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, 100%.
Honest, to be fair, I think Hudson could survive just about anything. I mean, he's pretty awesome. I think Eden would do okay. I think Eden would take out a lot of zombies. I love her.
Yes. I also love Eden. Just like everything about Eden supremacy. I love it.
She's amazing. My agent's daughter's name is Eden, and she is completely an homage to my agent's daughter.
Oh my God. Was that intentional?
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And shout out to Eden out there.
I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows that.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that exclusive. Okay. Ooh, this one's a fun one. So, some of the most memorable moments of your book are highlighted with songs. In fact, my friend Joanna has made a Spotify playlist of all the songs you listed,
Awesome.
and we
That is
we
so
like
cool.
listening to that. Yeah, what's the role of music, and what does it add to the scene when you put it in there?
Well, I think sometimes it's just, I don't know. I think it's just fun, you know? I mean, I actually spend a lot of time picking the songs. Sometimes I know right away which one it is. Like I know, like, of course, this is what Macy and Grace would be dancing around to in their, you know, in their dorm room. And then sometimes it's a song that I really, really have to look for. And then I just find the one that I think really fits the situation. I don't know. I think music is so important to life. I mean, I just think it's just, I don't know. It's just such an incredible thing, and I think it sets tone and emotion and mood, and it says it's just one more layer to add to a scene that gives you an emotional connection and sets the mood and the tone in a way that you know that nothing else really does. The example I think I had a question about this once before, and the example I used was actually out of Covet, and it was the song that I think a lot of Crave fans are familiar with now, Grace by Lewis Capaldi.
Yes.
And I actually spent like, I think it was like 5 or 6 hours finding the song that I really wanted to go in that scene. And then I heard that song for the first time, and I was just like, this is it. This is the song I didn't know existed yet, but that I had been looking for so long. And I kind of love that it's become such an anthem for the series. Like so many people use it in their TikToks and their videos, and I love that because I think it's such a beautiful song, and I think it so sums up where Hudson was in that book, you know. So
Yeah, and as everybody's saying,
Gargoyle is Lewis. I love that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just saw that. That is so cool, Joanna. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Joanna. I love Joanna. Joanna's out here. Oops. Uh-oh, something's going wrong. Okay. My laptop's slowing down, so that means the battery's gonna go soon. But I'll run over to where Kellyanne is. But if I do cut off, just letting you know that that's happening now.
I'll just like hear it for a minute.
Okay. Okay. Well, you touched on emotion in the book, and how it's the songs add to the emotion. And I was wondering, how do you get yourself to a place where you can write so many heart-wrenching scenes and push past the exhaustion of that emotion? Or do you get exhausted at all when writing those really super heart-wrenching scenes?
Yeah. It's actually really hard, you know, like sometimes it's like super exciting. Like I'm like one of the scenes I remember being so excited to write was the Aurora Borealis scene in Crave. Like I think I wrote I in my head it was so much sooner in the book, and then I just kept writing, and I kept writing every day, like I'm gonna get to the Aurora Borealis scene, and then it took forever to get there. Like scenes are like so easy. Like that's one that stands out to me. The ice caves where we first see Hudson is another one that just stands out as being super easy. Like I just wanted to get there, and he opened his mouth, and I was just like, oh yeah, I can do this all day. And some scenes are a lot more like I know what I'm gonna have to do to get there, right? Because when you write, you try to write from a place of truth, like not truth like, oh, yes, I'm in love with a vampire, but truth like this is what it feels like to lose a parent, or this is what it feels like to be in love and to have my heart broken. This is what it feels like to, you know, whatever. And so you have to, I think writers in general have to dig deep and tear open those emotional wounds to be able to get the honesty on the page for the reader. And it is uncomfortable, but I think that if you want it to be true, I think you owe that to your audience, or I feel like I owe it to my audience. Like somebody, one of the best compliments I've ever gotten for this series is somebody said that they really, really respected how I try to respect trauma, that I don't hide it away, because bad shit happens to people and it hurts and it stays with you and it stays with you for a long time and it sometimes forever, and it kind of forms your character or a part of your character. And I think it's so important to honor that and to honor the good and the pain that comes with that. And but also to not overwhelm the series with that, because you could very easily, I mean, bad stuff happens in these series and you could very easily like drag stuff down. But like, no matter how bad the thing is that happens to you, you still have to get up in the morning, right? You still have to, put your pants on, and you still have to go do whatever you have to do. And it doesn't matter what bad thing happened, it's there, but you still have to function. And so I work really hard to try to honor that balance. Like, this really sucks. And I'm not going to forget it. And it's going to matter to me, but I'm going to go kick a vampire's ass today because
yes, that's fantastic. And as someone who deals with things like that, like for just in life in general, like it really did touch me to see that experience written so well in a book. And so thank you so much for doing your research and for being so sensitive to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It means a lot to me.
And before we go on to our Q&A here, I just wanted to touch on one more thing that I really, really want to touch on, which is Grace's string theory. What is it that solidified the idea of the strings? Like, was it always strings from the beginning, or was it something else?
No, for me, it was always strings. Like, I was trying to, well, maybe not from the beginning. It was like I was trying to figure out how to create a visual representation of what was inside of Grace, so that she could see it, so that she could, and there was a lot, of foreshadowing, obviously, in that scene with the strings the first time, and how I could give the reader something and Grace something to like kind of hang on to and know about what was going on, and what these connections are. And I feel also like, that's true in real life, right? I feel like there are people in our lives that sometimes it's even short acquaintances. Sometimes it's your best friend, but people that you have, there's something that connects you. And I just kind of thought these strings were such a great representation of those connections to people.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that, because that's the one I really wanted to get answered. So thank you so much. Okay. If you are ready, we can move on to the questions from our audience here. Uh-oh, am I cutting out?
No, you're still here.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
You're still there. We gotcha.
Okay. Yay. Okay, so from Shuri, will Cherish have special editions?
I don't know yet. I guess we're gonna find that out soon. I mean, I'm not trying to be flippant. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I hopefully we'll be able to announce something one way or the other relatively soon, but I'm not sure.
Okay, good to know. From I can't see this person's. From Anonymous, can we get a small teaser or snippet from Charm? Are you allowed to do that?
Not here. I can't really do that, but I could maybe work on talking to my editor into letting me release like a tiny snippet from Charm. What can I tell you about Charm that won't get me in trouble? Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that's not like a big deal.
Okay.
Let me think on that, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Then somewhere else very soon. I'm sorry. Let me think about it. I will in the meantime work on seeing if I can get a little snippet revealed on maybe the Wolf Pack or something.
Okay, that would be great. So this question says, what sweatshirt are you wearing? Is it Crush related?
The one I'm wearing now? No, actually. it was I'm cold, and it was the first one I grabbed off of my thing. It just has like hearts and stuff on it. Yeah, I just liked it. I don't even remember where I bought it.
Well, it looks great.
Sorry. Well, thank you.
Okay. Where was the banshee scene supposed to be at in Crush? Crush is my favorite book. That's from Jessica.
Oh, the banshee scene was on the way to the Dragon Boneyard.
Oh my gosh, I love the Dragon Boneyard scene.
Yay!
It's so good. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. I really, that's one of the scenes I had a lot of fun writing, you know, and the scene that leads right up to when they enter the boneyard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting how things happen in your real life and how you internalize them and how that then comes out in the book. There's this moment, and I don't know that it would have been there if something hadn't just happened to me, but I was writing, you know, and Eden is looking down and she's thinking about like her parents, and they're thinking about what it really means to go into this dragon boneyard and everybody that they've loved that is now buried there, you know, whether it's grandparents or parents or, you know, whatever. And I'm a dog person, and my dog had died the day before I wrote that scene, and I just was sitting there, and I was still like, and I was just sitting there kind of in my feelings about my little Emmy, and I was just, that kind of came out like, what does it mean to lose something that you love and have it move on past it and what that looks like. So, you know, like
that's
little
really
touching. Again, you just kind of mind your own hurt, and they just show up in little places. Oh yeah. I think it probably was from Torrid, to be honest with you, and I do shop there.
Uh-oh. I'm getting real laggy here. Hello?
Hello, I've got you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Uh-oh.
You're good, Kai. Look, everybody else has you too. You don't have us? Uh-oh, audio is gone.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Hold on.
You're back.
Okay. Okay, great. Because I think it's
Oh no. Well, while we wait for her, I'll go over here. Is that Harry Styles on my cup? No, Harry Styles is on a different one of my cups. This cup is actually, I don't know. Oh, it's Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow is on my cup. You can see her. Who gave you the court balloons? Oh, my fiance did. I have like the sweetest, most supportive family in the entire world, and they while I was out yesterday, they blew up the balloons and strung them up there, so they were waiting when we heard from the New York Times list. They were convinced, and I was like, do not jinx me, but they didn't jinx me. Will Goth Boy get a happy ending? Yes, Goth Boy will get a happy ending.
Hi, I'm back.
Bruno nearby. Bruno. No, I think they have him hiding. So he's a barker. So I think they have him like trapped somewhere where he can not. He and I have two little Yorkie puppies too. And they are, one of them is particularly yappy, and he and Bruno, Oscar and Bruno, kind of go at it. So they try to hide them when I have an event. Are you back?
Yeah, hi.
Yay, hi. I was trying to carry it. I'm not as fun as you, but I was doing my best.
Oh, you were very fun.
When am I getting married? That is the $1 million question, because we were supposed to be married a couple months ago, and then COVID happened with my fiance got COVID, and then had a broken arm, and then a bunch of other things happened, and so the wedding kind of had to be put on hold. And we are looking right now to try to do that. Try to actually get married.
Okay.
No. We were just singing that song just before we went live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great. I do love that song. Okay. If I can pick up another, will you put more details about the other schools or paranormal circles in future books? Jessica's asking.
Yes. And that is all I'm going to tell you.
Okay. That's super exciting.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for that.
I'm actually really, really excited about the spinoff, and that is all I will tell you.
Okay. Oh, so that is actually the next question, because DJ asked, "What's next? A spin-off series?"
Yes, the spinoff series, and it's not a secret that it is Remy, and then you meet the heroine. You meet Remy's heroine in court, and I love her. She's Izzy, and she's a tough one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the two of them do together, because I think they're going to be a lot of fun to write.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, Joanna, I'm so glad you're Izzy. I mean, I know she's so rough, and she's such a badass, and she's just she's a lot. But I'm really looking forward to digging into her and redeeming her, and and seeing what she and Remy do together.
Yes, we love a redemption for her. I felt for her the entire time that she was there.
Oh, did you? I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me very, very happy.
Yes. I'm also very happy. Okay. Oh,
is he my favorite Vega sibling? Oh, I don't know. I like all three Vega siblings. I'm very fond of them. All three of them.
I do love all three Vega siblings. I don't think you can choose a favorite except for, Hudson, but okay. Ooh, this one's a good one. Was the experience writing a non-binary character different than under any of the other characters? Any different struggles with writing them? Hannah's asking.
I think I tried. I just wanted to be true to the character. I worked really hard to think about who Daoud was versus, and that's the pronunciation. People I know have been asking how you pronounce their name, and it's Daoud, which is actually an homage, a shout out to my father. My father's name was David, but he is of Syrian descent, and his parents, his mother particularly, my grandmother always called him Daoud, which is the Syrian pronunciation, the Arabic pronunciation of it. And so that was a shout out definitely to my dad. And I concentrated more on who they were than worrying about what characteristics were which or what it meant. I'm just like, I think that's how all of us should be judged, right? Whatever our pronouns, whatever. I think everybody should be able to be who they want to be, and that we should judge people on who they are, like what they do and how they treat others, versus something as simple and unchangeable about than pronouns or skin color or sexuality or any of that. So I just kind of concentrated on who I wanted Daoud to be.
Yeah. And as someone who is non-binary, like, that is so touching to me. Thank you so much for all the thought that went into that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I did try really hard, and I hope I gave a fair representation.
Yes, you did. And it was great.
Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that.
Beth is asking about what about Charm Special Editions?
Charm Special Editions. Again, I feel like I'm going to say no. Okay. We did not have them planned.
Okay.
But let's go with no for now. Let's go with no for now. No. Yeah.
Okay. Joanna is asking, do you have anything you want to add to the Katmere guide?
Oh, a lot I want to add to the Katmere guide. There's a lot more to go, and I think as we there's some stuff from court I want to get into in there, and some characters obviously, and then we've got this whole bunch of cool, well, I think cool, but I'm a nerd, cool stuff that I think is coming in the Shadow Realm that I would really like to dig into in the guide as well before we get to the end of the series and finally put it into print. The Banshee scene, maybe I will talk Liz into the Banshee scene.
Would love that. Okay. Roxanne's
Will I add
asking.
Leah to the guide? I will. If you'd like me to, we can do that.
Are we talking? Wait, Leah?
Somebody had asked if we would add Leah to the guide, and I was like, yeah, if you want me to, I can do that.
Yes. I want you to.
All right, Leah, it is.
Okay.
And yes, it will eventually be printed. We're not printing it yet because we want to be able to get all the way through the series. I don't want to like sell you a hardcover book twice because that's really crappy of me. So we're gonna wait till we get everything done and everything updated, and then we'll put it in print for those of you who want it. Oh, a phonetic glossary. Thank you for the suggestion. I will definitely bring that up.
Ooh, of Grace's tattoos. That would be great because I would love to copy it on my own body.
Awesome. Awesome. I think there is well, I'm not going to say that because I could be wrong. I think something might be coming on that, but
Okay.
None for now.
Okay. Keep it in my little noggin. How many books will be in the spin-off series? That's Roxanne asking.
Well, we originally thought Crave was going to be 3 books, and then they just kept doing stuff. So, apparently I can't shut up. I like write a lot of stuff. Like, every editor I've always had tells me, you could probably have done that in half the words, but you write really cool scenes, so we're just gonna let you have it. Like we think it's gonna take 1 scene and it takes 7 because I can't shut up apparently.
We don't want
3, maybe 4, maybe I think there'll be as many as it needs to tell the story. That by the time I finish working out the arc and what I really want to have happen in it, it'll be as many books as it needs to be, I think. Okay. Oh, thanks, Beth. You're so sweet.
DJ's asking, what are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? Tracy Garvis Graves just came out with a book, and I picked that up and have just started that. I'm very excited about that. I'm reading, it's been on my to-be-read pile forever, but I'm finally getting around to it. Nalini Singh, who is one of my favorite authors, like hands down. I think she writes amazing paranormals. Hers are adult, not YA, but I love her. I think her worlds are so rich and so amazing. And she actually has her second romantic suspense out, thriller type, and I'm reading that as well. Those are the 2 books that I'm doing right now.
Ooh, so very fun. I might just add those to my TBR list.
Yay.
This is one I want to know as well. Caleb is asking, will we get a love story of Jackson and Flint?
Maybe.
I do love that.
We'll just have to wait to see what happens.
Okay, I will wait. We will be patient. Yay. And Hannah's asking, if you could live a day in any of the characters' shoes, which one would you choose?
Only one?
You could do several. There's no rules.
But let's say Calder. I think Calder's cool. I'd love to live a day in Calder. In Calder's shoes. Hudson's had it rough. I'm not sure I'd want to live a day in his shoes. And Eden, man, Eden is just, yeah. She just kicks all the ass. I think I'd love to live a day in Eden's shoes too.
That'd be great. I choose Flint if I'm also answering.
Do you choose Flint?
Yes, I choose Flint.
I love him, and I know that a lot of people have trouble with him because he had a rocky start. I'm not saying otherwise, but I don't know. There's just something about him I like a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like rocky start. Like aside, like I loved him regardless of everything that happened,
regardless of his murderous intent.
Yes, he was. They're in high school. Sometimes you think things in high school are correct, but they're not. Okay, and somebody else is asking, will we see more chapters in the future from multiple points of view?
At like the end of the books, yes. I think we're planning. I'm planning on keeping that all the way through. So yes.
Okay, fantastic. Good to know. Will you be adding any new witch characters? Jessica's asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
There will be.
And that's all you can say.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay. Okay.
Clint is a golden retriever. He kind of is.
Yes.
Just happy-go-lucky, just loyal. I think he's awesome.
Okay. Well, the audience, if you have any more questions, please use the Ask a Question tab so that we can actually see it. I know there was a few going up and down here that wasn't in the questions tab, but I also have more. I have 3 pages worth of it. I want to share my favorite quote, actually, because
that's fun. I always love that. Everybody's got a different one, so that always makes me super happy.
So this one is on page 431. It's my turn to narrow my eyes, my turn to stand up straight like the queen I'm determined to become. And then I look right at her and answer, I think we're both tired of being underestimated, don't you? I cheered really loud when I read that.
Thank you. That's, I think it's true, right? I think that women in general tend to be, and not just women, I mean, it happens to a lot of people, but I think that women tend to be underestimated a lot, especially women who are maybe not as fierce as Eden, women like Grace or women like Macy, who people think are, weak or soft or fluffy. Yeah. And I think that it's so important. Like I've said this before, right? One of the things I really wanted to showcase in this book was female friendships and how important and pivotal that they can be in your life. And also I wanted to really showcase all the different forms of feminine strength because they're not all the same. Some are like, Eden's, I'll just, stomp you into dust, zombie. And some of them are more like, I'm just going to pick myself up every time I get knocked down. And I'm just going to, or I'm just going to be the best support system that anybody could ever ask for, or whatever it is that there's strength in that. There's strength in working through the hurt and the trauma and just doing what needs to be done, versus just being so in your face with it. I mean, I'm not saying that's not strength too. I'm just saying there's lots of it. And I think that we tend to underestimate the quiet kind of strength in people.
Yes. Words of wisdom. I love that. And women are incredible. That's all I gotta say.
I think that we are.
Okay. Oh, we have more questions coming in. Mayfair, it says, love the Giants. Any chance we'll see a return of our reunited lovebirds?
Maybe.
Every maybe you say is making me too excited. Okay. Gabby's asking, did you originally plan on naming all the books with a word that starts with C?
Well, that happened after I named the first book. I didn't say, oh, this is right away. When I was brainstorming the title for the first book, I just really hit on crave. And I just thought, this is what it is, right? Craving, I think there's so many different kinds of cravings that kind of go on through the whole series, which is why we chose to stick with crave as the series name. But then we very deliberately did it. And one of the things I love about them is they're not just words that begin with C, 5-letter words. They're words that all, have to do with some aspect of love, right? Like crush. Yes, there's crush, but there's also, I've got a crush on you, and covet and charm, and I very deliberately chose cherish, a longer word, for the title of the 6th book, because, it's the end. It deserves to be a little different.
Yes. So. And we love that title. So amazing.
Oh, yay. I'm glad you do. I have an alliteration whore too, by the way, Mayfair. A total alliteration whore. I mean, I can probably see that in the books, right? I will do it all the time. I love alliteration. It just makes me so happy deep in my soul.
What a great way to describe that. Okay. Joanna is asking, is Macy going to get a happily ever after?
Eventually, yeah. I think, she deserves one, right? I love her.
Absolutely.
One.
Yes. Okay. And Carolyn's asking, for the Insider's Guide, would it be possible to get pictures of what they look like in their paranormal forms too? I would love to see Grace as a gargoyle.
Oh, that's a great idea. With her little horns that she was so worried about. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna float that idea. Thank you for bringing it up. I'm gonna see what we can do. That would be really cool.
Okay, it looks like that is all of our questions. Tracy, this was a great event, and I really, really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking to you too, Kai, and to our wonderful audience. You guys are incredible, and I love you so much. And there were a couple questions that came up that I very deliberately ignored earlier in the chat, and I did that because I did not want to bring things down. Thank you so much for asking about my mother. She died this morning, and anyway, thank you for asking about her and for being concerned about her. I love you guys. You're the best, and thank you.
Yeah, we love you so much, and obviously our prayers and our thoughts are with you all the time, just for the grieving process and for all of that. Yeah, that's very difficult to lose a parent, and so
thank you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I just felt bad. I didn't. People were so kind, and I didn't want to just leave them hanging. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and thank you for sharing. Anyway, it must have been really hard to share.
Thank you. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all of your enthusiasm and love for the Crave series. It means the world to me. I can't tell you how grateful I am. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And those of you who aren't members of the Wolf Pack, join us because we have a lot of fun over there. And we make really great friendships and talk about really fun things. And I'd love to see you over there. Thank you guys. Yeah. You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Before you go, where can we find you on social media?
I am on Instagram as Tracy Wolff Books and Tracy Wolff on Facebook. You can find me in the Wolf Pack. I like to hang out there with my fans. I'm trying to be better about getting over there now that my mother's care had taken a lot of my time, but I'm trying to be better about getting over there as much as I can. And Twitter, I am Tracy Wolff.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tracy, and thank you, audience, for being such a great community, just in general and all around.
They're wonderful. And for those of you asking how you join the Wolf Pack, on Facebook, search up Wolf Pack, WOLFF, and you just request to join, and we will let you in.
And
come play with us.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to buy the book and a signed book plate, make sure to click that shiny greenish button right below us, and you'll be able to get that. Okay. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Tracy.
Take care, everybody. I love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.